What's up, y'all? You ain't gonna want to miss this one. This was sent to me by a follower, and it's absolutely mind blowing. My grandfather, Joachim, was born in 1889 and lived until 1984. I was just an 11-year-old boy when he left. He was a fisherman all his life, and he loved to tell stories that, while incredible, he swore were always true. He used to say that he preferred to fish at dawn because that was when the fish emerged to the surface to bite. He'd tie his fishing net at one end of the river and throw his line just as the fog would start to dissipate. In those days, it was common to catch huge fish without much difficulty. He always came back with his basket full. My grandfather was a curious man by nature. He said that he had been going to that river since he was just 10 years old, and almost every time early on in the morning, he would notice some strange movements on the riverbanks on the opposite side from where he always fished. According to him, no other town occupied the area, so it didn't make sense as to who these people were. They'd show up without fail at 5 a.m. every time. He'd see them seemingly humanoid figures entering to the water, and he always found this very peculiar. So to find out who they were, one morning he got in his canoe, but instead of going directly to the shore where they used to go, he decided to travel further upstream and across the river to get a good look at who these people were. Once on the mainland, he hid his canoe among the vegetation and snuck over where he'd lay in the tall grass and hide out about 28 meters away from where he'd see those people. The next morning, like clockwork, at the crack of dawn, they showed up. But what he witnessed left him without breath. I saw several groups, entire families, but they were not human. They had an upright body, they walked on two legs like us, but their skin was scaly, resembling dry leather. Their faces were similar to that of a crocodile, albeit with shorter snouts. The smaller ones moved on all four legs, gliding with agility between water and land. They did not speak, but communicated with signs. At first I thought they were people in disguise, or they were carrying dead caimans on their shoulders. But no, they were alligators. He said the most shocking moment was when everyone went into the river, except one who remained seated on the bank in a fully human-seated position. But his appearance was unmistakably reptilian. My grandmother said that it took him more than 10 minutes to move back, as fear paralyzed him, and he feared making noise. Since he was so far from the farmhouse and it had gotten too late, he decided that night not to return home and stayed and slept at the foot of a large tree near his usual fishing spot. My grandmother said that after that day, my grandfather fell seriously ill. Nobody knew what caused him to do so, but we always suspect that it was related to what he had witnessed. But eventually he did get better, and he lived until he was 95 years old. And until his last day, he repeated with conviction that those beings still lived there, the primitive forest of Brazil in the Amazon.